Hey Scott, Mike Robertson here. It's what is today, January 12th, 2013. Testing out my new GoPro. Wanted to take some video for you here at the boat. It's my first GoPro video, so bear with me. Try to go over everything with you so you can get a little better look at everything that I've done to the boat. We'll start up here at the trailer. You can see I stuck this on here new. It had a brake actuator, but I pulled all the brake stuff off and just threw that on there. Threw bolted each side. It's pretty sturdy. This trailer tongue jack works fine. Not really the best visual appeal, but that's neither here nor there. Put this bow roller on to help stop the marking on the hull. One thing's for sure, this winch is not the best, and it needs to be a little bit bigger, but I never launched and retrieved the boat very much. Only a couple times a year because I kept the boat in a slip. So the rest of the trailer, you can see really little rust on it. You move back, you can see the bunks. These are actually two, I believe 2x10s, pressure treated. They're glued together to make them almost 4 inches wide, and they're got slicks on there to help get it on and off. You can see all the way back. The hardware there, it's starting to show some little bit of rust, but all this stuff was new. Those U-bolts, it's all galvanized, and you can see the axles, a little bit of rust, but they're in really good shape. The fenders and all, some rust on them, but not really too much. Again, really good shape. So the hubs, I pulled all the brake hardware off, so there's no brake rotors, drums, or anything on any of the 4 hubs, but these hubs were new when I redid everything. Same thing with the hanger hardware and the springs. All that stuff was new as well. Tires are in real good shape. 205 75 14s. So the lights are sealed LEDs. I'm a real stickler with my wiring, so all this stuff is soldered and then heat shrunk and then liquid electrical tape. So everything works right now and you shouldn't have any problems with it. The 3 LEDs in the middle, it's for any trailers over 80. Same thing on this side. And again, the bunks are just some pressure treated lumber, 2x10s, I believe. They're wrapped all the way around with indoor outdoor carpet. Real good shape. You shouldn't have to do anything at all with the trailer. Very little surface rust on the frame. It's in really good shape. So that's that. What I wanted to try to show you is right now I'm maybe 15 feet away from the boat, recording with this GoPro at, I believe, 1080p. So if you look, the looks great from 15 feet away. I'll give you a visual walking all the way around the boat. I'm not sure how hard it's gonna be for you to see some of the blemishes and stuff on the hull through this camera, but I've tried to explain the best I could. The boat was not painted by me, and for what I was gonna do with it, certainly was perfectly fine for my use. So, which is why I didn't paint it. As I was told, it's all grip paint, Fighting Lady yellow, and it was rolled and tipped, and I'll try to show you how you can see that. So this is what I was telling you here on the back. The hull was originally white, so the person who painted it, you can see this is where the jack plate was. They didn't take the engine off, so this is the original gel coat under here. It's not painted. You can see the line perfectly. So obviously when I put this engine on, it didn't match up to where this was, so you can see where, you know, that little bit of white. Again, you can't see it from 10 or 15 feet away because yellow and white, they kind of blend. But same thing on the other side. And if you go around, you can see other places where they just did terrible jobs, you know, around this hull cab. Up under the rub rail, you can see, I don't know if they tried to tape here. When they pulled the tape off, you know, it just pulled the paint. But you can see a bunch of little spots just like this all around the rub rail. But again, you don't notice it from a distance at all, and it never bothered me. So that's going to be totally up to you. From where I was sitting here, you might not be able to see through the camera, but you can see the brush strokes. I'm about 10 inches away, and you can see the brush strokes in the paint. Again, it's still got a nice shine to it. You can see the reflection and stuff, so it's nice and shiny. The paint that is, you know, not where in the sections were taken off, but the paint's really pretty hard. It doesn't chip very easily, so you shouldn't have much problem with it if you end up leaving it alone. You're working around, you can see just the attention to detail for the person that painted it. You know, stuff around. This is the fuel tank vent. You can see a little bit of the white underneath. They just really didn't do a great job in the prep when they painted this boat. So again, this is another spot here. This is what I was trying to tell you. Whatever, I believe it was Delaware, their registration, you can see it's a perfect diamond. You know, it was a sticker like this. They didn't bother even take it off. They just taped around and painted around it. So that's the original gel coat underneath, and of course the yellow paint on top. And then when I put my fishing stickers and my registration stickers on there, it wasn't in the right place. That couldn't cover it, so you'll have to figure out what you want to do there. And you'll see same thing on the other side under this too. It's a perfect little diamond. On this side, I was able to kind of hide it a little bit with my registration numbers, but not the they didn't do a great job painting this boat. But again, I'm gonna back off here. You know, I'm 8 feet away, just glancing. Boat looks great. You can't even, because it's a white underneath over top of yellow, you can't even see it. So that'll be for you to decide. Never bothered me, and believe me, I've gotten plenty of people stop me at the gas station or wherever, take a look at this boat, tell me how great it looks. So something to consider. You can see, I don't know if you can see here, you can see this line here is probably a paint run, something, you know, where their roller stuck and they didn't clean it up with the right brush or something like that. Real hard to see on camera, but you can definitely see it when you get close to the boat. Other than that, working our way up, the rub rail is in real good shape. It's extremely heavy duty for a boat this size anyway. It's good all the way around. There's no tears in it anywhere. A little acetone will make it just as black as anything. So that's usually how I clean it up. Just soak a rag in some acetone and it'll take all those smudges and all that stuff off there. So shouldn't have any problems there. I'm gonna go ahead and get in the boat and I'll work backwards. So bow of the boat. This is the bow, pop up bow cleat. This is, I believe, the 5-inch model pop up bow light. just kind of flips over, and you can see, get a look at it there. Just flip it back over. One thing I didn't do, because I never anchor, is you might want to add some chocks in on the side if you're anchoring a lot. You can see a little bit where I've been tied up, it's black. You'll be able to get that out with a little elbow grease. Moving back, this is the quote-unquote anchor locker. As you can see, the wood around it, you know, when I put it all together, I stripped it and redid it. It's been out in the sun for 2 summers, so it's starting to show its age. So I think that's a good idea. There's, for the starboard, there's no one really around here that does that kind of work. So that's going to be a great you know, kind of take care of an eyesore that always kind of bugged me, if you get that taken care of. But I don't ever really keep anything in here. Again, I don't anchor, so it's probably going to be hard for you to see in the dark, but this is kind of what it looks like. You can see the wire going up to the bow light, and the popo cleat is through bolted. That's about a 1/4 inch piece of fiberglass I had laying around that I made a backing plate. Big bolts on there. So yeah, you can stuff an anchor, some road up here, and plenty of room. This door is not really the greatest. It's some kind of plastic. It works, but again, not the greatest. This is the small hatch on the bow platform. And you can see down in there, that drain just drains down into the bilge. This, again, I just threw bumpers, ropes, stuff in there. You can't necessarily count on it for being dry storage, obviously. But all this in here is original gel coat, some acidic base cleaner. You just clean this up and it would be perfect. Plenty of room in here to stuff stuff. And if I back out, this is almost my whole arm's length deep. So it's really deep. You can jam a lot of stuff in there that I know of. It's not insulated. So I'm gonna watch out for that. This is sold, the bigger hatch is sold as a fish box. I never kept fish in here, so I couldn't tell you whether it does a good job or not. But if you look, again, this is all the original gel coat. It wasn't painted. So you get in here with some on-off or something like that, and all this stuff will clean right up. This drain here goes right through the bottom of the hull, you know, overboard. I just usually kept the plug in so water doesn't back up. So again, I usually mostly use this for storage when I was on the boat, throw my tackle bags, stuff like that in there, and it worked out pretty well. So these rod boxes down the side, these rod holders are not what's supposed to be in here. These were in the boat when I got them. When you get on the classic Seacraft site, you'll see the ones that are supposed to be in here. And what they are is a whole piece. They follow the hull and they come straight across all the way out, so they're flush to the outside. It just makes it so the rods fit in there a little bit better. So you can see some of the wiring running up to the bow under there and stuff. Again, down this side. Those rod holders are good for sticking a gaff in there, stuff like that. They're not the greatest for holding rods, just because, as you can see on the bottom, it's really not that wide. Same thing with the wood here. This is a little bit better shape. You know, it needs to be sanded and stained or treated again with some kind of Cetal or whatever. Well, that's your choice. You know, if you're gonna get starboard, that's gonna be so much better. Moving back, this is the cooler that I told you about. It's just a Igloo Marine. It's got stainless latches, hinges, seat cushion on the top. Open it up. I put this little tray in here just because we do a lot of flounder fishing with live and cut bait, and it's nice to put your bait up top here out of the ice. What it is if you look here on the side, this is how it gets lashed down to the boat with these stainless sort of turnbuckles. And it's really solid. You know, you can't move it or anything when they get lashed down. When you want to take it out, you loosen these up. Take these turnbuckles off, and you take these eyes out of the floor, and then all you're left is that on the deck, and it's, you know, maybe a 1/4 inch thick. So there's nothing to, you know, really stub your toe on or anything like that. It was the best solution that I had because I wanted to be able to make this removable, just to give you more room. You know, if you're not keeping fish that day, or you don't have a lot of people on the boat, just you and another guy or 2 guys, it's nice to have the extra room. So that was sort of my thinking here, and take this stuff off and gives you a little bit more room in the front of the boat. So, give a good shot of the console cover. As you can see, it was custom made. It's actually heavy duty canvas. This is a really nice cover. Fits over the leaning post and the console. And there's snaps on the bottom. It's really pretty tight. You can, I don't drive with it, but you could. And as I told you, you know, if you modify the windshield or everything, you might have to take this and get it modified or figure out a different solution. So it's a nice cover. So we're in the back of the boat now. This is the in-deck live well.